Have you ever noticed how Thierry Henry talks about Cristiano Ronaldo? It always feels like he doesn't exactly fancy the Portuguese icon. And you know what? I get it. I actually do. Henry played for Arsenal and Barcelona, while Ronaldo played for Manchester United and Real Madrid. These two pairs of clubs are deathly rivals. To put it mildly, they hate each other. Manchester United and Arsenal, Barcelona and Real Madrid, those guys are never seeing eye to eye in whatever generation. So, putting their club allegiances into consideration, Henry not being a big fan of CR7 is not so crazy. In fact, going by the unspoken rules of club rivalries, this is exactly how it should be. Henry played with and still has a very good relationship with Ronaldo's biggest sporting rival, Lionel Messi.
The best player in the world for you now?
For me, I will go with Leo.
And you know, since those two started dominating football 2 decades ago, it feels like you just cannot love both of them equally. You have to pick a side. It's either your Team Ronaldo or Team Messi. There's no in-between. But here's the thing, with Thierry, it doesn't just feel like he chose a side. It feels like there's actual beef. It feels like he cannot stand Cristiano Ronaldo.
If Cristiano Ronaldo went 4 or 5 games without scoring, that's a massive problem for Manchester United.
Why are you shaking your head?
No, I totally agree. But the problem is, when your poison is your medicine, you will struggle.
And, well, that's because he actually cannot, and I'll tell you why in this video. Today, we'll be talking about the game that started an eternal beef between Thierry Henry and Cristiano Ronaldo. But first, for those who have not noticed that there's beef between these two, come let me show you something. Remember when Henry said on TV that De Lima is the real Ronaldo, while CR7 is just Cristiano Ronaldo?
Have you ever asked for anyone's shirt?
While playing?
No, but at any time in your career, I mean, as a young player? Or...
Yeah, I did.
Who?
Ronaldo. R9.
The real Ronaldo?
The real one.
The real
me.
one?
Yeah, growing up. Yeah.
He's the goal.
How many Ronaldo did you know when you were growing up?
No, only one. What I'm saying is to call him the real Ronaldo.
Yeah, always.
Now when we've got Ronaldo
in the
tomorrow.
game, people will say the real one. Cristiano. Ronaldo is R9. Cristiano is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Wait a minute. So, does that make Cristiano the fake or inauthentic Ronaldo then? I mean, he didn't even have to say that, to be honest. But he did for a reason, and that reason is because he doesn't like the Portuguese. If you are still not convinced by that, then come let me take you back to 2014 when Henry had the job of handing Cristiano his 3rd Ballon d'Or award. Henry had some sort of poker face on while he was handing the golden ball over to the former Man United man. And after Ronaldo received the award, he made a sound akin to a war cry, and Henry behind him had a face which looked like he'd much rather have been someplace else. The feeling among fans was that Ronaldo made that noise because he knew Henry was right behind him. It was not hard to tell that Henry would have had a very wide smile on his face if he was handing the award to Messi instead of Ronaldo. And before you say I'm reaching here, it's not just me who has made these observations, you know? Rio Ferdinand, who is a proper legend of the game, did too in a podcast. He said he has noticed that both Henry and Ronaldo Nazario probably have some beef with Cristiano Ronaldo.
We all love El Phenomenon. I saw a clip of him naming he's top 8 strikers of all time. And Cristiano Ronaldo weren't in the list.
Because the name in it, because he's saying he's took my name and got bigger with my name.
Because he was Ronaldo, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then Cristiano comes along, and now they started referring to him as the fat Ronaldo, which is disrespectful.
While everyone on the podcast seemed to agree that the Brazilian Ronaldo's beef stemmed from the common name and CR7 having outdone him in the sport, Ferdinand shared more context about where Henry's beef most likely started. And are you surprised this dates back to their Arsenal and Man United days? Let's get into it. You see, when Ronaldo arrived in England, Henry was the Don, having already won a Premier League title, a couple domestic cups, and a few individual awards, including a Premier League Golden Boot and a PFA Player of the Year award. It was Henry's turf, and he was almost unanimously regarded as the best player in the league at the time.
I've run out of superlatives for this guy. He is just phenomenal. He really is. He's the best in the world by a mile for me at the moment.
They've got the most effective forward that there's been in British football as long as I can remember.
Every game, you can guarantee he's going to put on a show, score a goal, make a brilliant pass, skill. Like when you see him in the corner against Danny Mills, when Danny Mills winded him up and you just saw him skin him in the corner, That was just class.
But then this teenager came in and began to stretch out to take his crown. It did not take Ronaldo long at all to start dazzling and taking centre stage in the English top flight. Was Henry threatened? Maybe, maybe not. I can't say for certain. But one day, when Man United and Arsenal went up against each other in the league, Henry and Ronaldo had a little bust-up, which showed the world that these two were far from being friends. Arsenal welcomed Manchester United to Highbury in the 2004 to 2005 season, and it was a huge game. Arsenal were the defending champions and United were the challengers, so it was always going to be a huge game. Never mind that, any game between these two was always going to be a huge battle. United had won the first leg 2-0, so Arsenal were out for revenge at home, and it started really well. From the very start of the game, the home fans were really making life difficult for Cristiano Ronaldo, and he really struggled. Meanwhile, Henry was leaving his footprints all over the game. In the 8th minute, he assisted the opening goal, sending in a cross from a corner kick. Patrick Vieira got to the end of it and finished brilliantly. 1-0 to Arsenal. But United responded quickly, scoring the equaliser just 10 minutes later. Scholes won the ball high up the pitch, thanks to some really good pressing, sent a ball to Rooney, who set up Giggs for a shot. But the shot from Giggs deflected off Ashley Cole, and it went down as an own goal. It didn't matter one bit to the Red Devils. All that mattered to them was that they had scored and they were back in it. 1-1. The game was very keenly contested, and both sides looked inseparable. But 9 minutes to the end of the first half, Arsenal showed why they were champions. They hit Man United once more, and guess who was at the heart of it again? Of course, it was Thierry Henry. He set up Dennis Bergkamp beautifully, and the Dutchman finished in emphatic fashion to restore Arsenal's lead, 2-1. The Gunners were able to maintain that lead and take it into half-time. Arsenal had United exactly where they wanted them, and much of it was thanks to the best player in the league. The first half was the Thierry Henry show. He absolutely ran things. He was hoping that the second half would continue in the same fashion. But the little kid named Cristiano Ronaldo had other ideas. He was silent in the first half, but in the second period, he really began to impose himself. Early in the second half, Henry and Ronaldo clashed close to the touchline, and Henry tapped Ronaldo on the head in a sort of lil bro way, if you understand what I mean. And in response, Ronaldo pushed him, and you could tell that Henry didn't like that all. The battle was really heating up. But in football, none of that really matters. What matters is what you can do on the pitch and how you can help your team win. Whoever wins the game wins the beef. Ronaldo understood this perfectly, so he decided to lock in. 9 minutes into the second half, Ronaldo scored to bring United level, latching onto a pass from Giggs and sending a strong shot beyond the keeper. He celebrated by shushing the Arsenal crowd, who had been giving him a tough time all game. We thought that was it, but just 4 minutes later, Ronaldo scored again with a tap-in from another Giggs assist to put Man United in front. This time, his celebrations were more animated. He had done it. He had come to the King's home and taken his crown. John O'Shea would add a fourth for United in the 89th minute to close it out and complete the league double for the Red Devils over their rivals that season. But it was Ronaldo who grabbed the headlines, and deservedly so. It was really a Cristiano Ronaldo special. Bear in mind that Henry was 27 and in his prime at the time, while Ronaldo was turning 20 in a couple days and still on the rise, but this kid came to the Don's hood and shut him up right in front of his own fans, who idolise him. It must have been so humiliating for Henry, and he seems to just not have been able to move on from that ever since. Henry would end up leaving the Premier League 2 years later, while Ronaldo stayed till 2009. During that period, Ronaldo went on to win more Premier League titles than Henry. As many PFA Player of the Year awards, as many Premier League Player of the Season awards. And of course, while in the Premier League, he managed to win two things Henry never got to win at Arsenal: a Champions League and the Ballon d'Or. So, in a way, you can say that Ronaldo really came and snatched his chain, so you should understand why Henry doesn't really like him till this day. And then, this beef was made a little worse by the Clásico rivalry in Spain. Ronaldo moved to Real Madrid in 2009, while Henry was already at Barcelona, and that definitely intensified the beef that already existed between them. El Clásico will do that to anybody. But this is what football is about, isn't it? These days we see rivals always smiling with each other, and it just makes you shake your head at how gone the game is. But here, we have two of the greatest players in football history who played on either side of two very bitter rivalries. And they have maintained that beef even after football. Of course, there's mutual respect, but we are just not best of friends. You love to see it. And of course, there are many other great players who have a long-standing beef with each other. Can you share some with me? Feel free to get in the comments and tell me about your favourite football beefs of all time.